So we're in Baghdad. We're running a survey. We want to measure support for anti-government violence. And I'm going to use a list experiment. So how does this work? Before the survey started, I randomly assigned each respondent to either a shortlist group or a long list group. And this is happening behind the scenes. The respondents don't know that they're being randomized into one of two groups, okay? So the enumerator goes to the house, they contact the person, and they say the following. I'm going to read you a list of 4 if you're in the shortlist group, or 5 if you're in the long list group, strategies that citizens sometimes use when the government does not seem to be listening to them. Please tell me how many of these 4 or 5 items you would consider using if you felt that the government was ignoring your needs. So the people in the shortlist group saw these 4 non-controversial options, like voting against the government or protesting peacefully. And they said, I would do 2 of those, or I would do 3 of those, right? They didn't say which ones, they just gave a number, okay? The people in the long list group got the same 4 options, as well as a 5th option of using violence, using non-peaceful methods. And again, they said, I would do 3 of these, or I would do 4 of these, okay? So nobody is specifically admitting to using violence. In fact, they're not specifically admitting to anything in particular. Now, because people were randomly assigned to be in one of these 2 groups, the people in the 2 groups should be on average the same, right? They should have the same average characteristics. They should have the same average age. I should have the same proportion of men and women in each group, same proportion of people from each neighborhood in each group, right? Which means that on average, they should be willing to choose the same number of items. The only difference is the option to use violence for the people in the long list group, which means that across the 2 groups, any difference in the average number of items that they select must be caused by people choosing the sensitive option. So in my case, in the shortlist group, the average number of items that people would choose is 2.2 out of 4. In the long list group, the average number of items that people would choose is 2.5 out of 5. So a difference of 0.3 items. So 2.5 minus 2.2 is 0.3. So we can infer that across the sample, 30% of them would consider using anti-government violence. And again, I don't know which individuals would use violence, right? That's how I've protected their privacy. I only know that I'm estimating that 30% of the sample would use violence.